Welcome to the Pew, where we're going to do a
special fact-checking
especially stinky show.
It's our
something really smells today, and it smells like bullshit.
From fact to fiction and back to fact.
And transformations.
Baby got fact.
The transformation of the truth to something that is more closely related.
Okay, he's run out of clips.
Not the truth. Well, I don't want to use the word lie, because that word has...
It's harsh.
It's harsh. It's a harsh word. So let's not use the word lie. We'll use the word untruth. And of course, we're talking about James's book,
Disco Bloodbath.
Disco Bloodbath. So we have been. I hate to continually use the word inundated, but we have been inundated by questions from viewers wanting to know the truth and what is fact and what is fiction.
Yeah, like how you got Drano into the needle when you injected Angel.
Exactly, and so we're going to explain all of those things today.
Okay, you better start.
Okay,
it's a long list.
Yes, we're going to start with the beginning of the book, which is James coming to my house in this negligee and me serving him tea and crumpets and telling him the story of how I killed Angel. None of it ever happened. He never came to my house that day.
Poke my eye out
Okay.
or hit me in the face.
Right.
Stop waving this hand.
He never came to my house. I never served him tea and crumpets and heroin. And I guess he put that in the book in order to legitimize the story. Like,
or he could have just been so high that he thought.
No. He did it because he needed me. He needed to set up a scene where I'm telling him the story. I mean, and I kind of understand that. It's just nothing
wrong with lying about tea and crumpets.
No, that's no harm done, no harm, no foul. Now something that really bothers me is
when you starve Spike.
When he claims that I starved Spike, because I don't know, and I don't know if this is an innocent, lie of James's, that he really believes that
the cat did die.
The cat did die, but
don't all cats die?
Well, they do, but not like Spike died. Spike, I was moving into a brand new loft. Well, brand new for me, but it was an unfinished loft, and I was moving in with Freeze, and Freeze had these grandiose ideas to finish the loft ourselves, even though we were all drug addicts, and he was seeing the book in architectural, the loft in Architectural Digest, and that we were going to have, designers come in and make it beautiful and whatever. So, and we did have the tech crew from Limelight and Tunnel come and take out the kitchen and the bathrooms from my old loft and move it to the new loft, and they were installing it and they were building it. And so at the time, we were living at the Paramount Hotel and going to the loft every day to feed the cats and to change their litter box. And the owner of the loft, who lived downstairs, also loved cats and was watching my cats. And one day I came to the loft, and Kitty, the elevator opens right up to the loft, and the elevator door opened, and Kitty was running around in circles, screaming, which frightened me. And she ran directly to Spike, and it was like she was waiting for me, and Spike was laying there frozen with like this horrific look on his face, like he was either frightened by something or just that he had died a very painful death. And I mean, I can't even look at a picture of Spike right now because it's just so painful. But he was I can just only surmise that he was bitten by a rat, or maybe ate rat poisoning somewhere, or some kind of insect poisoning, because he was fed every day, he was loved, he was taken care of. However fucked up I was on drugs, the cats were very important to me. So that bothers me. I don't know if you want to break for a commercial or if you want.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Okay.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Bow down to the party monster. Bow down to the party monster.
Welcome back to the Pew.
Welcome back to the Pew.
Welcome back to the Pew,
where we are dissecting James St. James's Disco Bloodbath.
His
From
transformation.
fact to fiction and back again.
this transformation. Okay. Another thing is there were a lot of, and this is another thing, sort of okay. There were a
lot of conflated events where things that happen at different times. In James's book, it's all described like it happened at the same time.
Yeah, and examples of that are the trips where we are going to Chicago or whatever and stealing the oxygen tanks. And
visiting Al Capone's vault and then setting a building on fire,
and doing lines of cocaine on the back, and the police recognizing me, all on the same trip, and they were probably like 3 different trips at the same time. But I mean, again, that's something that's sort of okay. The thing that I threw cake at Christina and caused her to go psychotic and come at everybody with a hatchet.
That is documented on Nelson Sullivan's videos, and it's clear that you did not throw cake at her.
Right, it's Michelangelo Signorelli did that. Now, the important things, and it's kind of, I would say, almost Machiavellian the way this is written, and kind of obvious that a lawyer was involved, the way that it was worded, where James claims that we injected Angel's live body with Drano. First of all, James knew this wasn't true because he himself tried to fill a hypodermic needle with Drano. And when I called him one day, while he was writing this, he said, or actually while they were filming the thing for the movie, he said...
For which movie? Party Monster, the movie or the documentary?
I'm not sure. It's probably the documentary.
It seemed like they were trying to dramatize.
Well, they did dramatize. They had Theron as me, and he looks very much like me. And if you look very closely at the bottom of the screen, it is a dramatization, and it's in a very light kind of like, you really have to look for it.
Yeah.
I mean, and
I want to distract the viewers.
Yeah, with the truth. And so anyway, so James said, Michael, how did you put Drano into a hypodermic needle? We can't do it.
We've tried and tried,
and
it's impossible.
It's impossible. I said, well, yeah, that's because it never happened. I don't know why you're saying that. And I said, could you please not say that? And he said, well, it's too late for that. It's all written and it's all
dramatic license.
It's just sensation. We need, without it, it would be just,
ruin the movie.
It would just be another crime, and who cares? And and I was on drugs at the time and didn't feel like arguing and didn't really realize the ramifications or the seriousness of him saying something like this, because at the time everything was kind of always a joke with us, and this was to me just another example of a drama queen over exaggerating and whatever. So and that's probably how James saw it, so that it never happened. In the book and the movie, they're very clever. The way that it's written as a hallucination, so that I could not sue them for lying, because if it's a hallucination, then they're not saying that it actually happened. They're saying that somebody hallucinated that it could have happened, and
it's all a dream.
Yeah, and they're using as their legal argument that in Freeze's confession, it said that there was a hypodermic needle on the floor next to Angel's body, which there were hypodermic needles all over the floor of my apartment, because we were all junkies. The last one is that we had parties in the house after Angel's death, and that we used the box that his body was in as a coffee table with a tablecloth and cocktails, and we had people over, and then Gitsy came over and a hand came out of the shower and all that. None of that ever happened. We'd never had any parties after the crime had been committed. We were not in any shape to have a party, and it just never happened. And again, James says it just makes the story sound more interesting and whatever.
Well, it did make the story more interesting.
It did, and James says that the most foolish thing I could do would be to dispel these myths, because without them, the story would not have happened, the movie would not have happened, I would not be known.
You would not be an international celebrity.
Exactly. And so he says I should actually be thanking him for embellishing and making the story something that it wasn't, because without him doing so, I would be a janitor right now. So that is that. So we
See you next time.
Your questions. Bye.